WavyOcho. I'm gonna react to the sad death of Cheetah Girls. I remember the Cheetah Girls. I used to watch the Cheetah Girls when I was little. Comment down below what is your favorite character out of the four?
The Cheetah Girls were an unbelievably, near unavoidable popular group in some of our childhoods. They turned into a global group, and even toured after a very popular movie. Although, it felt like, all of a sudden, the group just ended and they just dissipated, not even falling off. The Cheetah Girls were a girl group that was formed on the basis of several original movies produced by Disney. The concept of the movie was based on the novel series about four teenage girls from different ethnic backgrounds that performed together in a singing group. The very first movie, The Cheetah Girls, released on August 15, 2003, and instantly became the first musical Disney Channel original movie. The first film was one of the most successful films produced by Disney, and fans wanted more. So, in Disney fashion, to multiply such an accomplishment, they decided to turn the actresses into a girl group, make some more money. The Cheetah Girls as a girl group were formed in the same year and consisted of Adrienne Bailon, Sabrina Bryan, and Keely Williams as full-time members, and Raven Simone as a member of soundtrack albums since she was so busy acting in her own show, That's So Raven full-time.
Yeah, That's So Raven was the shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That's So Raven was fire. Disney Channel, That's So Raven, and all that. What happened to the mother in the last season though? Like the mother the mother all of a sudden disappeared in the last season, bro. Do y'all know? If y'all do, let me know, bro, down in the comment section, bro.
Initially, there was no plan to create the group outside of the movie, even after the movie was a huge success. But thanks to Deborah Martin Chase, who was a producer of the movie, new contracts were drafted, and the film's music was released as a soundtrack even before the movie was aired. The soundtrack was almost not going to happen, the actress revealed. Our contracts were for the movie, so we had to go back in and do different signage for the actual soundtrack music. Basically, the producer, Deborah Martin Chase, came to the channel and was like, we have this original music, and it's good. It goes with the movie. She really pushed to make it a soundtrack. Even though there was not much promotion for the CD for the soundtrack, it was immensely successful. It was not really something... The channel had never put out a soundtrack for any of their Disney Channel original movies because they had never done a musical before. They just put them out to see how it would do, and they just flew off the shelf. So basically, the channel was just like, oh my god. They just weren't ready for it. They didn't realize that it would be such a big thing. The soundtrack album included songs from the movie, among which were Cheetah Sisters and Cinderella. The album went platinum twice, selling over 2 million copies. And after these results, Disney made the decision to gather a real-life group. Though, the group was a trio, as like we said, Raven Simone was focused on her own career. At the end of 2004, the trio recorded for the first time. It was the remake of I Won't Say, I'm in Love, from the Hercules soundtrack. The song was on the Disney Mania 3 album, and after this remake was enjoyed by many fans, the Cheetah Girls were asked to film a live DVD special starring them performing the remake at Disneyland. Fans loved it, so the trio was asked to record a Christmas album. They're just hitting every profitable angle and holiday. So the first album, Cheetah-licious Christmas, that the group recorded was a collection of Christmas-themed songs, several original songs, including one that was supposedly written by all three girls. The album was released through Walt Disney Records and peaked at number 74 on the Billboard 200 albums charts. Cheetah-licious Christmas, which was a lead single, was instantly popular and played numerous times on Radio Disney. Soon the music video for the song was released and, of course, shown on the Disney Channel. 5 More Days Till Christmas was the second single from the album and was released only on Radio Disney. We were kind of becoming a real music group, and we're like, okay, so we did a Christmas album, and then they're like, this is so good, we want to do a Christmas tour. Would you guys be interested? We were like, okay, and we went on a Christmas tour. After this success, the trio went on their first ever tour in support of the first album the next month. Together with the Cheetah Girls on tour were Ali and AJ, which was the opening act, and the Jonas Brothers as special guests. All 3 groups members with their own show or movie on Disney Channel. The Cheetah Girls started working on their debut album in January of 2006. We'll be making a real album, not a soundtrack. Some of the music on there will be produced by will.i.am from the Black Eyed Peas. It's important for people to see us as a real music group. We have all this great marketing around us with the movies and other things, but we are a musical group. Keep in mind, this is 3 years after they first formed, or nearly, we'll say 2.5, after the first movie. While the group was working on the album, it was time to shoot the second film, The Cheetah Girls 2, which was shot in Barcelona, Spain, during the spring of 2006. The Cheetah Girls 2 is the most viewed film on the Disney Channel, scoring more than 8.1 million views. After this success, the group went on their tour, The Party Had Just Begun, from September 2006 till March 2007, and scored $43 million. And then that's kind of how it kept happening. They, Disney, kept seeing the response from the audience and the need and the desire from the fans, and they kept asking us, and we kept saying yes. While on tour, it became evident that the third movie would eventually happen. The Cheetah Girls One World would be shot in India for 3 months and would be centered around Bollywood, while all the main
if I'm not mistaken, it was without Raven Simone, bro. I'm guessing she had her own show to do. That's a Raven.
Cast members were invited
To return, it became evident that Raven Simone wasn't going to join them. As Raven later revealed in several interviews, her decision was based on feeling, quote, excluded and, quote, ostracized from the rest of the girls while shooting the second movie. Partially, it was because the trio had spent a lot of time together as a group. They were recording music, they were touring, and Raven was off doing her own thing. Raven also revealed that, apparently, allegedly, there was some jealousy from Keeley because of Raven's role in The Cosby Show. Naturally, the recording of their album was put on hold, but the group didn't stop writing material for the album while they were recording the movie, even though they were still touring as well. Interestingly enough though, the trio wanted to attract a new audience to their music while staying loyal to their much younger fan base. Also, the group planned on working with the same producers they had previous experience with and adding new faces. For example, none other than superstar producer Timbaland. Initially, the album should have been named Who We Are with a release date of June 19, 2007, but it was postponed again until September 25th and was named TCG. The first single from the album was So Bring It On and the second one was Fuego. The shooting of the last film, The Cheetah Girls One World, started in January of 2008 and it was released on August 22nd. And as it was with the first movie, the soundtrack to the third film was released a couple of days earlier alongside it on August 19th. However, this movie was nowhere near as successful as the first two. It was reported that it was 6.2 million viewers, which was a big drop off from the previous one that had watched the film, and in the fall of the same year, the group went on a tour to support the final movie and soundtrack. Unfortunately, it would be the last tour for the trio, and at the end of December 2008, the group would just come to an end. With Raven being absent in the third film, some fans made an assumption that the lowest ratings of the movie were because of her departure from the Cheetah Girls franchise, which is a good assumption.
Maybe that's why the last like movie didn't do well because they didn't have Raven Simone. You know, Raven Simone probably was a draw in that. Raven Simone, if they would have Raven Simone in the last one, they would have their ratings would have got higher. But the fact that they didn't, then the fact that they didn't have Raven, they should go low.
To make. It was true that Raven added to the sound of the group in the movies, but the trio managed to carry on with performances for quite some time. While there isn't one particular reason why the group would just come to an end, there are some factors and rumors that are definitely worth mentioning. The first is difference in priorities. One of the theories about why the Cheetah Girls broke up had to do with members' personal career goals and priorities. After the end of the trilogy, it was rumored that each member wanted to focus on solo endeavors and personal projects, which naturally led to them moving in different directions. And if Raven hadn't come for the third movie, which performed significantly worse, or a decent amount worse than the second movie, and she wasn't going to come for the fourth, it's not like the ratings were going to get any better. The second was Raven Simone's departure. Raven was a part of the original movie cast, but not part of the group's music career from the start, returned for the Cheetah Girls 2, but she didn't participate in One World, which, like we said, started the rumors about the conflict. And some fans believe that her decision to leave was what helped contribute to the group's ultimate breakup. She was the biggest star at the time by far, and she potentially didn't return due to internal conflict, or another possibility is they didn't want to pay her how much her team felt she was worth. The third, internal conflicts. In interviews after the breakup, members of the group hinted at interpersonal issues. Keep in mind, they were also very young at the time. Years after the group disbanded, Keely Williams and Adrienne Bailon had a public feud. Keely accused Bailon of pretending to be her best friend and then abandoning her. Although this feud took place after the breakup of the Cheetah Girls, it does suggest that there may have been underlying tension or unresolved issues between them when they were younger and still a group. Although, the more likely reason on top of all this is that
Number one, the trio was slowly growing out of the age when they were still valuable for the Disney market. They were nearing adulthood and just didn't appeal to the same market anymore. Raven was a star power that they didn't have anymore, and really, she had the most fans out of all of them. And their fans had just grown up, and the new kids needed a new set of stars that were in their age group. Many years after the split, in 2020, Raven and Keely decided to clear the air about numerous, quote, catfights that happened behind the scenes. Raven shared her feelings that she had while being on the set of shooting the second movie once again, and said, "The cliquish way that there was during that movie made me feel excluded from my original team. Not that it was strong to begin with, but I felt excluded. We have other things that just led up to that moment that just were weird, personal, outside of business. Back in the day, you came up and said, I auditioned for The Cosby Show too, and I didn't get it." Keely immediately reacted to that saying, "Because I'm not a good actress. It's true, I didn't get that part, and it's alright. I can understand what you're trying to say. I'm a lot, so I get it. I would never try to hurt you on purpose," and offered her sincere apology for any misunderstandings and bad blood that was between them in the past. It was clear that Raven didn't hold a grudge against Keely and said, well, I appreciate that, sweetheart, and I release any pain towards you that I have, and I cancel, clear, and delete it. While Raven and Keely were able to clear a few things up, there was still a wall of silence and hidden grudges between Keely and Adrian, despite the fact that they were friends and co-members of a group of...
What happened to Sabrina, though? Like, she just chilling about her own business. She don't care about this. What happened to Sabrina? What happened to Sabrina? Let me know down in the comment section, though.
Or the Cheetah Girls.
performing together as a group called 3LW. One of the main reasons that likely led to the widespread appeal of the Cheetah Girls and its adoption from a novel, other than the fact that they were pretty much a more G-rated version of the Pussycat Dolls, was that they put together a girl group for a musical movie on Disney where they were all different ethnicities in 2003. There wasn't a single girl, I guess unless she was Asian, that couldn't closely identify with at least one of them, whether it was their ethnic background or their personality, which were different for each character. They really paved the way not just for more Disney Channel musicals in the future, but for more commercial risks to be taken, although they're not really risks once they've seen the success, with different girl groups in the future, and even some stars today cited them as inspirations when they were kids. Just a couple being Kalani, who's even performed some of their songs, Camila Cabello, Cardi B, and another Disney Channel star, now mainstream star, Zendaya.
Okay, that's the vid, but so yeah, you guys, let me know like what is your favorite, like out of the 3 movies, what is your favorite Cheetah Girls movie? Out of 1, 2, or 3, what is your favorite movie? Alright, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, y'all know the vibes. I was just checking out you are.